Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May the 3rd. I'm Brett, your Thankful Carnivore, and this is this morning's Thankful Carnivore Report. I want to thank everybody for checking me out on all my social media platforms. That's thankful.carnivore at Instagram, Thankful Carnivore on YouTube, where I upload these periscopes every day, and of course at Twitter, you can find me at Stickman Bleeding. That's StickmanBleedin. I appreciate you watching and taking time out of your day. Listen, I got to ask you, what are the questions that you get asked about the most? And the first one is always, how do you do the carnivore diet? What do you eat? And actually, those are the first two questions. How do you do carnivore? What do you eat? What tips do you have? The next most asked question, do you still use cannabis? And if you're still using cannabis, why are you using cannabis? So the answer to that is yes, I still use cannabis. Every day, I usually wait until after I've had my breakfast before I medicate the first time. And I stay medicated to some degree till I go to bed at night. And there's a very good reason for that. Without cannabis, I am the happiest, big smiling, most obnoxious, hypercritical jerk you could ever be around. It's really rather disturbing because it's kind of gives, when I've tried to go without cannabis, and it's very consistent. It's not, we've tested this. My wife can validate everything I'm saying. My mood is outstanding. I'm not angry, I'm not depressed, but I just become an obnoxious, hypercritical jerk. And I believe it's just the learned behavior that I cobbled together while being depressed for over 40 years of my life. I don't know how you break that. I know through behavioral therapies and whatnot, it might be possible, but it would also be very expensive. And to be honest, guys, after all the years of seeing therapists and counselors and psychiatrists and doctors and try this kind of therapy, read this book, this article might, try hypnotism. Cannabis is working. And I don't know why it does this. I don't know why it keeps my behavior to where I'm the happy guy you all see in all my interviews and all these periscopes. I don't understand it. I have gone without it before. I can make it 3 or 4 days out of town without it. But it's an extreme effort not to become that obnoxious thing. And it takes me weeks and weeks to get back to my version of get my calm completely back under wraps after that. So it's just really, I'm a legal patient in Florida. I have justifiable reason to be using it. It is a great tool for me because it makes me a more sociable, approachable person. I communicate better with it. I'm never really misunderstood if I'm under the influence of cannabis. But I find if I'm stone cold sober, I'm quite often misunderstood because I don't speak as well. Something happens. I want somebody to study me. Frankly, I'm still shocked there's not a line of people at the front door wanting to take my blood. It's a puzzle to me. Now, Do I have a problem with people who use cannabis recreationally, who might abuse it and whatnot? That's a personal, individual decision that's not up for me to comment on. For me, cannabis is medicinal. It is the only true medicine I have ever really used that I don't feel like now didn't hurt me in some way. People also ask how I use it. I prefer to ingest it. And you take flour, you cook it down. You can make you can make canna butter with it, which when you ingest that, then you absorb every milligram of goodness. Nothing goes to waste, so it's very cost effective. I don't like smoking cannabis. I don't like the taste of it unless it's extremely fresh. But I even don't like that very much because it tears my throat up. I don't like what it does to my chest. The medicinal effects are undeniable. The behavioral impact for me is undeniable. I don't like smoking it at all. I just don't care for it. Plus it's dirty and it's always a mess. And I also, one of the forms I get here in the state of Florida from our medical dispensaries is vape oils. Now that's usually what I do primarily through the day. But that's why I keep using cannabis. And if you're having issues and Carnivore has fixed you up great, but you might still be having some anxiety problems. That takes a while to get rid of. It took 5 months of carnivorous living before my anxiety finally went around the corner the hell away. And I'm very grateful for that. Anyway, cannabis might be good for you, might not be. That's something you're going to have to research on your own, because I'm not going to ever be a promoter of cannabis use. It's an option that's out there, and I believe it should be available for everybody to consider. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. You have a wonderful day. Eat you some meat, drink some water. Have a blessed weekend, guys. We'll talk to you again on Monday. Bye-bye.